Hello and welcome to this video presentation on Labour Market Information or LMI. Today I'm going to provide a brief overview around LMI, including what it is and why you need to know about it, some business environment data giving us a feel for the industry conditions in the region, some labour market conditions data covering some headline figures on how the market is faring, and some labour market demand data, giving us an indication of what employers are looking for. Throughout this presentation, I will often refer to the West of England region. What I mean when I say this is the local enterprise partnership area, which covers Bath and North East Somerset, South Gloucestershire, North Somerset and Bristol together, as shown on this map. It's a region that is home to over 1 million people and over 45,000 businesses. Where possible, I focus the LMI presented to be region specific to provide the richest and most relevant information possible. So, what is LMI and why do you need to know about it? Well, in order to answer that, I think it's useful to define what we mean by the labour market. You may already know this, but in case you don't, it's a term we use when we talk about buying and selling people's efforts, skills and time. When you go into a shop, you choose a product you need and pay for it, which forms a transaction, an exchange of money for goods. The same thing happens in the labour market, but you are the product. Employers need your time, effort and skills, so have to buy you with a salary in order to produce the goods or services that they offer. In the goods market, the price of a product is influenced by a number of factors. For example, if something's complicated and difficult to make, it's normally more expensive, so think an iPhone or some kind of high-end technology. Generally, along the same lines, if someone is highly skilled, they are usually more expensive. The same goes for rarity. Gold is rare, so it's expensive. Skills that are very specialist and rare often cost more to buy, like nuclear scientist, for example. So, labour market information is, exactly as it states, information we have that describes the labour market. It can be useful to help us answer a host of questions about work, working conditions and the economy, such as what jobs are recruiting heavily in the area, which are the big employers in different areas and which ones have jobs on offer, what are working conditions like, what skills employers are looking for and which are in short supply, how much you can expect to be paid in specific jobs, how buoyant is the job market currently and how many people are unemployed, and what might jobs look like in the future and which jobs might disappear. Answering these questions can, in turn, help young people make more informed choices when researching jobs they might want to do in the future. We're now going to look at some data that explores the business environment in the region. There are over 46,000 businesses in the West of England, employing around 627,000 people across a wide range of sectors. We have a broad sector base compared to many regions, which can be seen as a positive thing, leaving the economy not overly exposed to shifts in one sector. Some of the largest sectors in the region are retail and wholesale, which employs 14% of the workforce, as well as health, education, professional and scientific services, and administration. We also have sizable transport and storage, government, construction, manufacturing, and IT and communication industries, as well as a host of other industries like arts and entertainment and finance too. The next few slides cover some information about labour market conditions, which can give us an indication of the health of the local economy and its relative position within the rest of the country. The claimant count is the number of people claiming unemployment benefit. The graph you're looking at shows the claimant rate across the 4 local authorities, the West of England and the national rate. As you can see, we saw a big spike in this number at the beginning of the pandemic in May last year, but it's stayed relatively stable since, and is lower in the West of England, which is the light grey line in the middle, than the national rate, which is the top line. This information is updated on a monthly basis and can be found on the West of England LMI pack on the Combined Authorities website. Nationally, the claimant count is higher for young people than it is for the general population. This is actually not the case in the West of England region, where 16 to 24-year-olds claim at a slightly lower rate. North Somerset and South Gloucestershire do have higher youth unemployment rates than the general population though, so there might be more isolated pockets where this is more of a problem. Claimants are seen in high numbers in certain geographical areas, which were generally areas that had higher rates of unemployment previous to the pandemic. We will now look at some labour market demand information, which includes jobs postings data as well as apprenticeships and other industry data. We can use job postings data as an indication of the health of the job market and of which industries are recruiting. This data is limited due to the fact not all vacancies are advertised online, as well as the fact that industries with high levels of staff turnover, like certain sales roles, can be overrepresented, but it gives us a good indication of general trends. We saw a strong downtick in the number of job postings at the beginning of the pandemic, which recovered over the last year to some extent and has remained broadly stable this year so far. Top occupations advertised in the last 6 months are generally occupations that saw strong demand pre-COVID. Some of these have actually seen an increase in demand since the pandemic began. These include programmers and software development professionals, nurses, care workers, managers and proprietors in other services, and sales-related occupations. Some other professions that see high levels of postings are IT business analysts, architects and systems designers, other admin occupations, human resource and industrial relations officers, marketing and sales directors, solicitors, web design and development professionals, chartered and certified accountants, and van drivers. We can break down job postings to education level to give us an idea of the kind of jobs advertised that might be suitable for young people leaving education at different stages. This is by no means perfect. Many jobs do not have an education level specified, and this software can only represent the ones that do, so many may be omitted, but it gives us a broad indication of the kind of jobs demanded. Please do bear this in mind whilst interpreting the job posting slides. In terms of entry-level jobs, there is strong jobs postings seen for a variety of professions, including care work, sales work, van drivers, large goods vehicle drivers, storage work, cleaners, nursing assistants, as well as kitchen and catering assistants and construction work. In terms of level 3 qualifications required, the highest volume jobs advertised include vehicle technicians, care workers, nursery nurses and assistants, various engineering roles, teaching assistants, and electrical and electronic trades. In graduate positions, software and IT, engineering, management, marketing, and STEM-related professions all see high levels of postings. Looking at the skills demanded from job adverts, the top skills include both hard skills and soft skills, with the latter being the most frequently cited. Teamwork is the most common skill required, followed by collaboration. Amongst the hard skills, we again see the prominence of software engineering and a few programming languages, so as we can see here, Python and SQL, for example. Many skills fall in the middle between hard and soft, like budgeting. Demand for apprentices dipped at the beginning of the pandemic and stayed much lower than its pre-pandemic levels, but we've seen a big spike in March, which could indicate that they are recovering. Hopefully this will be confirmed over the next few months. Here is a selection of apprenticeships from the 15th, 16th and 17th of March. A total of 27 were posted for these 3 days, so they are out there. Although none are shown here, degree-level apprenticeships are also available, though competition is high for these. This list changes constantly, so best to check the government website, which is linked at the end. In terms of growth areas, there are some key sectors that are expected to grow nationally. These include engineering, software IT and digital, creative including design, construction, health and social care, professional services, business and public service professionals, and the low carbon economy. Some of these are particularly key in our region. As we've seen throughout this presentation, software and IT continue to see huge demand, and we have many specialist engineering, creative and professional service companies located here too. Over the last 20 years, there has been a significant increase in the number of digital jobs. This is partly due to growth in the IT and digital sectors themselves, but also the increased prevalence of these roles across all industries, with finance demanding high volumes of software professionals, for example. In no particular order, analytics, cybersecurity, games and animation, networking and cloud infrastructure, and programming and software development are all thought to be growing areas within the digital space and are likely to continue to grow in prevalence as subsectors. Currently, there are 8 particularly highly demanded skills within digital roles that are specified in over 10% of all digital job adverts. These are shown here and include a lot of programming languages as well as some project management skills. So I've covered a variety of different sources of LMI in this presentation, many of which can be found in the West of England LMI Pack, which is published monthly and available in the Regional Insights page of the West of England Combined Authority website. There are also lots of external sources of LMI available that are great to use to find information and opportunities. These include the .gov apprenticeship website, which is a good place to start when looking for apprenticeships. Career Pilot provides expert careers information for 11 to 19-year-olds, and the Careerometer, which is an extension of Career Pilot, compares jobs to each other. The National Careers Service also provides information, advice and guidance on jobs. I hope this presentation has given you a bit of insight into what LMI is, why it's useful and how to access it. Thank you for your time, and please do feel free to get in contact if you have any questions via the email address shown on screen.